everybody, Shannon with Apogee the Moon bringing you a weekly forecast for October 24th through October 30th. So I do mine from Saturday to Friday, so I'm not going to get to the full moon until next week, but there's enough to cover this week in terms of prior to the build up to the full moon, because there's some stuff going on that's a little interesting. We have, anyway, yeah, so we'll get there. But there's actually not very many exact aspects this week. There's only a few. You know, I don't talk about the moon going around the zodiac in terms of, that would just take a long time to talk about. But the moon is constantly moving, right? It's not like it sits still. That's not a thing. So it's I'm running off of not very much sleep lately, and I'm really hoping after this full moon that sleep comes my way. So yeah, there's not a lot of aspects this week, so it's going to be really interesting to talk about, and I'm going to really focus on what I think is the most important. So the way I structure this is that I talk about the general energies. This week I am going back into the all signs, you know, Aries through Pisces, talking about how it's going to affect each rising sign individually. So there will be that. But let's jump in, shall we? I will share my screen. Don't mind my sound effects. Seems like the more I do this, the more comfortable I get, and the more comfortable I get, the more sound effects I do. So this is part of my everyday existence, are these little sound effects that I do, like the poop and the whoop and the woo, right? So, sorry. Like I said, not a lot of sleep, a little delirious. So to start off the weekend with, we are going to have Venus coming into its final trine with Saturn. So all this past week, you know, it trined Jupiter, it trined Pluto. Now on Saturday, it's trining Saturn, and it's going to move. It's going to move past the exact trines, and then she's going to move into her home sign of Libra. So that's happening on Saturday. On Sunday, we do have Mercury retrograde at the Cazimi point of the sun, and I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. That's actually a really interesting thing. If you don't know what Cazimi is, you can Google it, or you can listen to what I'm about to say. And then on Tuesday, which are the last exact aspects that are coming in, we have Mercury retrograde re-entering Libra and Venus entering Libra, and literally they're only a few minutes apart entering. So they're going to be at something called a semi-sextile, or an in conjunct aspect. So I will start by talking now about the general energies, starting with the Venus trine Saturn, moving through the other three energies of the week before the full moon. So now, mindful though that we are building to that full moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus. You know, this is going to be a very, I don't know, maybe later this weekend or something I'll do another video, but just on this full moon, because personally I love Uranus energy. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, it shakes you up and wakes you up, and I don't know, maybe it's because it's my descendant, Aquarius, you know, Uranus rules my descendant, so maybe that's why I love that kind of energy. But it's like, it's just very interesting energy, and I really like it. So to start off with, on Saturday, we do have Venus trine Saturn. So this is the final planet that Venus is going to be trining over in Capricorn from Virgo. And Venus and Saturn, when they're in a trine aspect, this is a very long-lasting, this is kind of like that friend that you have had for 20 years that you may go long times without talking to each other, but then, you know, you catch up and it's like no time has passed. You're just kind of updating, like status updates, right? but it's like you fall back into this really easy, long-lasting friendship that's kind of like this energy. So that it's a trine aspect, so it is an easy flow of energy, but you have to remember that at the same time, if you don't focus on it, if you don't focus on that trine and what these planets represent to you in your chart, then yeah, it's gonna, it'll offer some benefits, but if you focus on it, it'll offer more benefits and it'll be easier to come in. So the trine from Venus to Saturn could show, optimism on the horizon for a long-term project or goal that you've been working on. And, maybe this isn't the end in like sight, right? Like this isn't the end of it in sight and it's not coming to a conclusion, but the potential for that fruition starts to show itself. And this is a very grounded trine as well, because both are in earth signs. Both are feminine, both are receptive. So there's that as well. Women, actually, because this involves Venus and Saturn, women would do really well to take advantage of this energy and kind of like boss up, you know what I mean, on this day. And, negotiations and a willingness to negotiate with people and a willingness to kind of work things through and reciprocity and all of that. When dealing, maybe it's not business because it's on a Saturday, but who knows, maybe people do business on Saturdays. Maybe this is more of a personal aspect. There's that. And then also, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. There's this aspect is, to me, it kind of represents that long game, right? Like the chess game. I don't know if anybody plays chess anymore. I used to, but I haven't in years. This is kind of like that long game chessboard game, right? Where like it doesn't matter who takes out the first knight. What matters is that focus and that durability on the checkmate, right? Like that kind of planning and strategizing. To me, that's kind of what this is, like when you really lean into what this is, especially because it's Virgo, Venus is in Virgo, and practical and pragmatic and all of that, and Capricorn, Saturn is in Capricorn, and it's this easy trine, but at the same time, these are very strategic positions. They're very grounded in the earth elements, but there's strategy. So that's the one thing that came to me was the chess game, and it's the long game, right? Like when you play chess, you need to think at least 7 moves ahead of what your opponent's going to do, and then you're counteracting, all the while keeping in the back of the head, your end game. And while there might be some surprises along the way, you have to keep that in mind and not react kind of thing, right? Like it's more of like, okay, this happened and now I gotta move here and now I gotta do that kind of energy. So, but like I said, it's been years since I've played chess, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not though. So on Sunday, we do see Mercury retrograde come into a conjunction and cazimi with the sun. So Mercury coming into an exact conjunction, even though this like a conjunction can last for several days because, it's within a 10-degree orb of a conjunction. Personally, I would say a 5-degree orb. That's just me. But the most important time frame for this is when they're at the same degree. So Mercury and the sun will be cazimi at 2 degrees of Scorpio. So this is an important degree to remember. And it comes exact at 2:22 p.m. on Sunday, October 25th. So this cazimi point, let's talk about the conjunction first. So when a planet comes into close contact before the cazimi point and after the cazimi point of the sun, what happens is that the energy of that planet is burned, and that's how they say it, it's burned away. So the positive attributes of that planet, like, Mercury, it can be very calculating and can be very decisive and, heavy in the details. but it can also be very self-deprecating. It can be, you know what I mean? Like it can be that negative self-talk kind of thing. So when it's combust, it's a different energy than cazimi. And I know I'm probably really screwing this up, jumping around, but the combustion of the planet is when it's conjunct but not exact. And so what this means is that, you know, the positive attributes of Mercury are burned away. So this could see people, especially with the sun, the combust points and conjunction could see people making very egocentric decisions. This is very self-centered. This is, you know what I mean? So it would be more of that negative, like solely self-interest, don't care about other people, yada yada, right? Now, and being in Scorpio, that, you know, this can be a very intense conjunction. That was quite the reaction, Shanna. Ooh. So, but the cazimi point is a little bit different. So the cazimi point, Mercury would be sitting in the heart of the sun or sitting upon the throne, right, of the sun. So this is more of like an older, I don't know. Anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole. So Mercury's attributes are elevated, right? So you have the more positive manifestations of Mercury at the cazimi point. And again, this is at 2:22 p.m. on Sunday, on the 25th. So, you know, if you can meditate, if you can take some quiet time very close to this, you know, this time, within like 15 minutes before up to 15 minutes after, right? So, it could be hard, but it is possible. And what you have to remember that it's at 2 degrees of Scorpio. So if you look at 2 degrees of Scorpio in your chart, you look at the water signs of 2 degrees Pisces, 2 degrees Cancer, and see if there's anything there, any aspects that it would be making. Also 2 degrees of Taurus, and, you know, even square points, right? So Scorpio would be 2 degrees of Aquarius and 2 degrees of Leo for the square point. So the trines, the squares, you know, the major aspects, if you have planets or points at those specific degrees, you know, at that specific degree of 2 degrees of, you know, any of the signs that I just mentioned, then this could be a very interesting cazimi point for you, right? So anytime the planets are doing anything, if it's making an exact aspect, you know, within a couple of degrees, it affects us personally. And because this is both the sun, our energy, our willpower, our soul, and Mercury, our mind, and how we think and how we speak and how we communicate, you know, this could see different areas of our chart lighting up if we have personal points or planets at 2 degrees of any of those signs, again, that I just mentioned. But you do have to focus. You have to focus on it in order to gain the benefit of it. Now on Tuesday, October 27th, we have both Venus and Mercury entering Libra literally at the same time. So at 9:33 p.m., Mercury re-enters Libra in retrograde motion, and at 9:41 p.m., right? So not even 10 minutes later, Venus enters Libra. And so this could be another interesting gimme, but it's kind of from the universe, right? Like I always say that it's from the universe. This is, you know, there's things that are really heavy at times, but then there's kind of the gimmies in between where it lightens things up. So, sorry, I'm taking a drink here. My throat's getting dry. So this could be another interesting thing. So that being said, this is Tuesday. We're leading up to that conjunction, you know, of the moon with Uranus at the full moon on next Saturday on the 31st, Halloween. But, you know, other than the moon making all kinds of aspects throughout the week, these are the only other planetary aspects that are happening. So it's a very quiet week, I would say, in terms of aspects. And the thing is, though, is that with this aspect, so Mercury will be at 0 degrees of Libra. Venus will be at 29 degrees of Libra. So there's 30 degrees, but it starts at 0 and ends at 29, right? 29, 5, 9. So not quite 30, but you get the point. So as they enter, they're going to be in something called a semi-sextile. And as they approach, they will also be in a semi-sextile. It's also known as a quincunx. So on the one hand, it can show really great like social grace and like someone that's really adept at socializing with people and talking to people and really making people feel good, and that like it's those people that are like the social butterflies at the parties, that just they kind of flit around from person to person and they're making all kinds of friends everywhere and they're helping like direct the waiters and this is really that kind of person. But on the other hand, this is also someone that will use their understanding of social interactions, and this could see people pleasing and to personal detriment, right? Like, because when there is the semi-sextile between Mercury and Venus itself, just that aspect, and like if you're looking at a natal chart, this would be that somebody that has a little bit of lower self-esteem in terms of their intelligence. They don't feel like they're intelligent enough, and they will defer to others because there's a fear there of rejection in terms of their ideas and their values. And it's a mix of energy where you have to kind of work at this in order to get the benefits of being able to adapt to social situations and have your ideas received. Because really, these people that have this natally in their chart, they're brilliant people, but they tend to defer because they're afraid of that. They're afraid of rejection, but really right? Like if you're afraid of rejection, what are you going to do? You're going to reject it within yourself to make it so that your inner world and your outer world match, right? Because then otherwise cognitive dissonance happens and nobody likes that. So on this day in particular, with this aspect happening, this could be a situation that arises between yourself and another. And that's how you're left feeling, like your ideas are not received well, or the things that you're saying are not received well. It could be that kind of energy. However, because both of these planets rule 2 signs in the zodiac, there could be a mixing and a blending, even though it's in Libra, right? So Venus is strong in Libra. Mercury is actually pretty good in Libra too. And re-entering from the back end, it would be in Aquarius's decan. So it's kind of Mercury retrograde. He just came off that opposition to Neptune. He just came off that opposition to Uranus. Jeez, I gotta get my crap together here. And so Uranus would be the end of Libra would be no, it would be Venus. So scratch that. I don't know what I'm thinking. See, look, this is what's going on. My brain is not functioning properly at all. And I don't know what's going on. Although I did hear a thing stating that if you don't sleep and the cortisol eats your brain tissue, which is disgusting, I think. But I don't know. I think that might be happening. I'm losing my mind, people. I'm losing it. All right. So I'm going to start the screen share and start with Aries and Aries rising. So Venus and Mercury in a semi-sextile in Libra, this is your 7th house, Aries. So this is your relationships. Now, Mercury rules your 3rd house and your 6th house. So this is your communication and how you communicate and your siblings. And your 6th house is your health and your wellness and your well-being. So Mercury coming in the back end in a semi-sextile with Venus that rules your 7th house, and also your sense of value and self-worth in terms of that 2nd house as well. So these two coming into aspect in your 7th house could see you reevaluating your relationships, could see you dealing with more one-on-one relationships, especially on this day, maybe contractual service agreements, communicating, you know, your needs, your wants, your values, and what you need to have a healthy mindset moving forward in your relationships. So this is how I wanted to structure this week. So I hope that you guys like this. And so, yeah, Aries and Aries rising. This could see some negotiations and partnership issues could pop up, and it's going to take work, and it's going to take you setting your own personal opinion aside, listening to the other person, understanding them, regrouping and responding, right, to the other people that you're dealing with on this day. For Taurus and for Taurus rising, Mercury and Venus in Libra, this is your 6th house of your health, your wellness, your mental health, your body health, your daily routines, and your structure in life. And so Mercury rules your 2nd house and your 5th house, and Venus rules your 1st house and your 6th house. So this could see, I mean, Mercury, you know, Mercury is your sense of self-worth, and wherever Mercury goes, it kind of brings this energy with it. So it's your sense of self-worth, and it's your sense of fun and play. And so for you, Taurus, because Libra also rules you, or Venus rules you, and Venus rules your 6th house of health and wellness and daily activities and stuff like that. This could see you having to restructure quickly things that are going on. Maybe you are dealing with your kids, you know, because Mercury does rule your 5th house, it's Gemini. So, or this could be you finding value and fun in your hobbies and your routines. Maybe you decide that you're going to add in a hobby, and you decide that, you know, for your mental health, for your emotional health, for your physical health, you need to add in more fun and more play in your daily routines. That could see this type of situation arising on this day and around, you know, around this week, just so you're aware. For Gemini and for Gemini rising, Mercury, you know, Mercury not only rules you, but this is happening in your 5th house. So Libra is your 5th house. So this is your fun, your play, your hobbies, your romance, your children, you know, the things that you love to do just because you love to do them, that kind of thing. And so Mercury also rules you, and it also rules your home and your roots and your property. And Venus rules your 12th house as well as your 5th house. So with this semi-sextile happening in your 5th house, the energy, because these rulers, you know, because they rule 2 different signs in your chart, this could see you yourself deciding that you're going to get something fun for your house or get something fun for your kids, right? Like this is that you, Gemini is you, Mercury rules you, it's retrograde, so you're kind of dealing with some stuff right now, especially on the home front and you yourself. There could be tensions at home. But because this is happening in your 5th house and Venus is there, and Venus rules your 5th house and your 12th house, maybe you're bringing back something from the past into your home and into your life, something that was fun that you used to do, that you stopped doing, and now you're going to start doing it again, right? Like this could see something like that happening for you. So Mercury and Venus in Libra, this is Cancer's 4th house. So Mercury rules your 12th and your 3rd house, and Venus rules your 11th and your 4th house. So because this is happening in your 4th house, this could see communications from the past, right? Like past communications could be coming up for you. You know, people from the past could be coming in, especially with that Mercury retrograde. You know, maybe family members from the past are coming, you know, family members that you lost touch with, or even this could be past life. This rules your 11th and your Venus rules your 11th and your 4th house as well. So this could see you, because this is happening in your 4th house, this could see some type of social gathering. Maybe you're working on a business in your home, depending on how your chart is made up as well. And this could see resolution in terms of your home, your roots, your property. If you've been working in this area, if you have any planets or points in the 4th house, like planets or points, of course it's 4th house, so it's your IC, but you know, depending on how your chart is set up, if your IC is in Libra, you know, this could see, yeah, I mean, this could see, I mean, Cancer, psychic, right? Like 12th and 3rd, this could, I'm just going to say, this could see you getting spirit messages, you know, at home. And as I say that, a little girl coughs over here, but she's a real person, just saying. So this could see you getting downloads or even messages for your social groups when you're at home in your meditative practice. It could be something as simple, you know, as that. This could see you, maybe this could be dreams, and you're talking about your dreams with your friends from home, right? I mean, that's literally how it could show up. So, but there's a lot of 12th, you know, this is happening in your 4th house of home, family, roots, property, and your 12th house, Mercury rules your 12th house. So if you have any planets or points in the 12th house as well, this is aspecting that in a trine. Easy, that you got to work on it though, right? If you want to reap the rewards. That's all I'm going to say for Cancer. So for Leo and for Leo rising, this Mercury and Venus in semi-sextile in Libra, this is happening in your 3rd house of communication, of your travel. This could be vehicles, this could be siblings, this could be cousins, this could be neighbors. And because Mercury rules your 11th house of your social connections and the people and the groups that you associate with because you want to, and your 2nd house of your self-worth, and Venus ruling both your 10th house and your 3rd house, so Venus is very strong in your 3rd house, this could see communication, especially coming in from a second party about the things that you're trying to do out in the world. And this could see some type of opportunity, especially because it is, you know, it is your 3rd house, and 3rd house is small business. This is, you know, this is effort that you put in to a small business if you have any planets or points here. And so this could see communication coming in from, you know, a vision of from a Venusian type like this. It could be another person coming in. You could be starting something contractually with someone, especially because it's aspecting in trine with your 7th house. If you have, you know, your 7th house cusp anywhere, you know, in the beginning or end degrees of Aquarius, this could be aspecting that as well. So, you know, this could definitely see some really nice communication in terms of money as well, because your 2nd house is your money that you make. This is what you value. And the 11th house is money coming in from that 10th house. So these two coming into a semi-sextile, this could see some really interesting developments in terms of your career as well. So communication about your career. So there's that as well. Woo, hello. We gotta back off here. I just skipped a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so Virgo and Virgo rising. Sorry about the technical difficulty on that, Virgo. Not surprising. Mercury retrograde. Virgo rules you in your 10th house, or Mercury. So Mercury, this is happening in your second house. So Libra is your second house of self-worth, of money, of value. So Mercury and Venus in a semi-sextile in your second house, both of them rule 2 signs. So this is the ruler of your first and your 10th. So this is Mercury rules you. Mercury is retrograde, so you're probably having some issues right now in terms of, you know, if you're not following the re's of Mercury retrograde, like re-edit, revise, redo, revisit, recalculate, you know, and that 10th house as well of how you're known out in the world, and things could be happening in terms of your career that are kind of, you know, pushing you back and pushing you forward, you know, just all over the place because it is Mercury. And Venus, though, Venus rules your second house, and Venus also rules your 9th house. So because this is in your second house, these two coming into a semi-sextile, this could see developments of maybe there's something that's going on in terms of you thinking that maybe you need to rethink something in terms of you yourself and how you're known out in the world and what it is that you're valuing. And maybe there's something that's happening in terms of 9th house things as well, because these 2 planets rule 2 different signs in your chart, and them coming into a semi-sextile in Venus, this is definitely a lot of self-worth, but you also have to add in the fact that they rule these other houses in your chart. So there could be a blending of all of this energy, and this could see you reevaluating your sense of worth and your perspective of that worth, right? So, and in this reevaluation, it's also changing how you see yourself, how other people see you, and also what you're known for out in the world as well. So there could be some developments in this area. And I mean, it's Venus and it's Mercury. So, I mean, I know Mercury is retrograde, but, you know, Venus is not retrograde, and Venus is entering her home sign. She's strengthening, she's rebirthing into, you know, very Libra-esque things of balance and harmony and relationship. So you could also see your sense of self-worth being boosted at this time as well with this aspect, the semi-sextile. So for Libra and for Libra rising, so Mercury and Venus are going to be semi-sextile in your first house. This is you, Libra. So not only is Mercury in your first house, re-entering your first house, so this would be a self reevaluation, but Mercury also rules your 9th house and your 12th house. So your 9th house is how you view the world around you and your belief systems, your, you know, your philosophy, your religion, your higher education. This could be education, but being that it's also 12th, it rules your 12th house of, you know, dreams, hidden things, hospitals, ashrams, prisons, retreat centers, you know, spiritual practices. This could see you with the semi-sextile. And because Venus rules both your body and your 8th house of other people, it also rules trauma and death. This could see you, wow, this could really see you healing very much from, you know, the 8th and the 12th house. Yeah, this is This is a really good thing for Libra risings in terms of dealing with either early childhood issues, right? Because the 12th house is the past, or past life issues. And what this can see happening as Venus enters, comes out of your 12th house into your first house, and Mercury moving back into your first house from your second house, this semi-sextile in your first house could see you really reevaluating how it is that you see the world and what your beliefs are, and healing from that trauma and from that pain of the past. So for Libras, this could be a very healing time for you. So for Scorpio and for Scorpio rising, Libra is your 12th house. And so the Mercury Venus semi-sextile in your 12th house, Venus is strengthened because this is her home sign, right? Not home house, but home sign. And so this could see, especially with Mercury going retrograde back into your 12th house, this could see you reevaluating situations, relationships, past lives, traumas, social groups, for Scorpios. Oh my God. So for Scorpio, for Scorpio rising, this could see you reevaluating where is you self-sabotage. This could also see you healing from traumas and wounds of the past in terms of also your relationships or your social networks, the people that you surround yourself with. You know, the 11th house is also internet and communication. So if you do anything, yeah, I mean, Scorpio, if you do anything in terms of small business or anything like that, this could see you communicating to people to help them also heal, because the 12th house is a very spiritual house. So if you have a spiritual practice or a spiritual business, this could see Scorpios really, you know, getting the message out and helping people heal traumas of the past and relationships. It could see, you know, it could see you reevaluating where a relationship is and where it needs to go, especially because it is Libra. Libra rules relationships. Generally, you know, Libra rules the 7th house, but it's your 12th house. So this could see also relationships from the past coming back for reevaluation, for healing, you know, for healing. So that's for Scorpio and for Scorpio rising. For Sagittarius and for Sagittarius rising, Mercury and Venus in semi-sextile in Libra in your 11th house. So Mercury rules your 7th house and your 10th house, and Venus rules your 11th and your 6th. So there could be a blending of all of these themes, especially because they're in a semi-sextile. So what this could see is, this could see you with Mercury reevaluating, you know, going backwards in the sky, or at least it looks like it. Anyway, with Mercury being retrograde back in Libra, this could see you really reevaluating your social structures, the groups that you surround yourself with, the people on the internet, right? Because the 11th house is also internet. And this energy could see you, because it's your 7th, your 10th, your 11th, and your 6th, this could see you re-evaluating and possibly restructuring your friendships, right? Like the groups that you surround yourself with. This could see you restructuring even how you're known in the world to get those gains in the 11th house. So it's a reevaluation process because the 11th house is gains, right? So this is the money that you make from that 10th house of career. And this is like your hopes, your wishes, your dreams of what comes out of that 10th house. So being that Mercury rules your 10th house, it also rules your 7th house of contractual obligations. And then Venus is strengthened in the 11th house for you because Venus rules Libra. And Venus also rules your 6th house, which is your daily routines and your health. This could see possibly even putting out there to the world, you know, to your friends at large, like talking to your friends about your health issues if you have any, and they could help point you in the direction you need to go to solve them, if that's, you know, if that's something that's been going on for you. So yeah, that's about it for Sag. For Capricorn rising, Mercury and Venus in Libra in a semi-sextile in your 10th house. This could see you revisiting and restructuring how it is you're known in the world, how it is that you're seen in the world. This could see you restructuring your daily routines and your higher viewpoints of the world and the fun that you like to do in that 10th house, and understanding how it is that people truly see you out in the world, right? This could also see you getting a new job. This could see you, you know, changing companies. This could see you starting your own business. This could see you like reevaluating all of these areas that you are in right now, right? Like maybe you need a little more education in order to start that business, or maybe you need to take care of some health issues, right? Like there's a reevaluation process going on with Mercury. And then Venus coming into Libra and strengthening, because Libra is her home sign. This could really see you getting an understanding and a clarity on over the next coming weeks, you know, after the semi-sextile is passed. This could see you coming to an understanding of what it is you truly want to do out in the world as well. For Aquarius and Aquarius rising, Mercury and Venus in a semi-sextile in your 9th house. In general, this could see you reevaluating your relationships with foreigners, or your relationship with your higher consciousness in terms of, you know, how it is that you view the world around you and the lens that you look through to view that world, right? Because, you know, Mercury is retrograde, so it's a reevaluation process. Venus is coming into Libra and strengthening and being reborn in Libra. So this is after her retrograde. So this is Venus definitely getting a breath of fresh air in a home sign for her, and this is your 9th house of travel. So maybe for you, travel could be opened up. Maybe you could travel, or maybe you're in communication with, right? Because Mercury's communication and it's in your 9th house. Maybe this is you communicating with someone from afar in terms of also those 8th house themes, because Mercury rules both your 5th house and your 8th house. So this could see, you know, maybe you decide that you're going to pull the trigger on an esoteric course, whether or not it's astrology, or whether or not it's, you know, learning something to do with the occult or occult practices, or a different type of religion than yours that would be considered taboo, right? So there's that. And then Venus rules both your 9th and your 4th house. So this could also see you maybe getting a deeper understanding of where it is your values in terms of your roots and your lineage and your home and your family. And maybe this could see you deciding whether or not you want to move as well, because 9th house is moving. And Venus is coming into its home sign of Libra. Obviously there's got to be, you know, some other things, and Mercury, or no, Venus, yeah, Venus rules your 9th and your 4th. So this could see you, I mean, if you own several properties, this could see you moving from one property to another with ease. But this could also see like maybe even a healing romantic partnership with someone from afar. There's that possibility too, because Mercury, or reevaluating, right? So this is coming in, this is revisiting something, you know, in terms of 5th house. Maybe a lover from the past comes back in and you heal that relationship with that person, because 8th house is healing, 5th house is lovers, could be that. Or, you know, maybe, yeah, yeah, I'm not going to go there. We're just going to leave it at that and move on. So for Pisces and for Pisces rising, Mercury and Venus in a semi-sextile in your 8th house. Woo! Pisces, Pisces. So depending on if you have any planets in your 8th house, Pisces, you have any planets in Libra, this is the house of death. This is the house of taxes. This is the house of all things deep, dark, and murky. But with Libra here, you know, I mean, it's a Venus ruled sign. So with this, because Mercury rules both your 4th and your 7th house, and Mercury is retrograding back into your 8th house, there's something that's going to be revisited in terms of your home and your property and your contractual obligations to said home and property, because it is 8th house, right? So there could be communication that comes in as well with Libra coming into that 8th house, and she also rules the 3rd house. This could see communication in terms of something that needs to happen with your house. Maybe that's where, you know, Mars has been retrograde in your 2nd house. Maybe this is communication in terms of 8th house and saying, hey, you know, the plumber is going to be able to come in and fix the pipes and fix your bathroom and fix your water leaks that you have going on. You know, that's an example, right? And because, you know, 8th house is generally ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio's plumbing. Kind of funny. So anyway, but this could also see the ending of a contractual relationship in terms of someone possibly that you live with, either a roommate or something like that, or there's a communication that comes in, you know, that maybe you need a roommate, and just like that, somebody comes in and, you know, you're like, yeah, you know, just be careful signing contracts because Mercury is retrograde. But if you have to, and you have a natal Mercury retrograde, then, you know, just make sure all your I's are dotted and all your T's are crossed. So for Pisces, I mean, this could see something in terms of contractual obligations and communications of that with the 8th house. The 8th house is death as well. You know, I don't want to say, you know, anything negative, but maybe there's a message that comes through, like maybe there's been a death on your mother's side of the family, you know, like the cousin that's been twice removed or something like that. So there is that also with the 8th house, because the 8th house is death. It's also transformation, right? Like I said, if you've been working on different things with this, with these rulers coming into the semi-sextile, this could be communication in terms of, you know, someone coming in and fixing something in your house and that type of thing. And maybe now it's time because you're revisiting it. So that is it for the 12 signs. And next week, some point, I may release another video for the full moon, just the full moon, or I'll just wait until I do my weekly forecast. I haven't decided yet. I'm still kind of trying to work out the kinks in terms of, you know, time. Maybe. I'm Leo rising and Cancer sun, so maybe I'll get some benefits this week. So anyway, I hope you have a great week, and let me know how it shapes up for you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon.